Hello everyone, and welcome to WordFleet. In this video, I want to take a moment to show you how to route your domain names to your WordFleet servers using the popular content delivery network, Cloudflare. Using Cloudflare for routing your domain names provides a lot of free benefits such as content caching, near-instant routing updates, security certificates, and attack mitigation. The content caching in particular is great for improving site loading times and search engine optimization. For this reason, we highly recommend that you use Cloudflare or a content delivery network for routing your domain names. However, if you prefer direct routing, you can do that, and that is something I cover in another video. So at the moment in our WordFleet account, you can see that we have two servers set up right here. I have a production server set up, which is where our live sites that the public can access would live. And I have a development server, which is where I'll hold my testing sites. And what we want is to route our domain names to the correct server. So for those that are new to this, routing is kind of like adding a name and a phone number to a global telephone book. Except instead of names and phone numbers, what we're doing is linking website names to server IP addresses. For example, if somebody types in wordfleet.com into their browser, what we want is for the browser to be able to look up the server that is holding the website for wordfleet.com, connect, and then download and access the website. So that's what we're going to set up here today. So the first step is to create and log into a Cloudflare account. As you can see, I already have one set up here. And if you'd like to create one first and then follow along, feel free to pause the video and then we'll continue. To start the process, we can simply click the Add Site button. And now we can enter in our domain name. So at this point, Cloudflare is going to ask which kind of plan you would like to use. If one of the paid plans is something you would find useful, you're free to select one of those. However, for the purposes of WordFleet, all we really need is the free tier. So I'll go ahead and select that, and we'll continue. And now we'll let Cloudflare set up the account. So at this point, we could go ahead and add some domain name routing records, but I'm actually going to skip this step. We'll come back and do this later on. So at this point, Cloudflare is asking us to change the name servers used by our domain name registrar. I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can see that Cloudflare is asking us to use its own name servers right here. So you can go ahead and click one of those to copy it. And so we can go ahead and log into our domain name registrar account. I actually am using Google Domains as the domain name registrar for this domain name. Keep in mind that the interface for your domain name registrar will be different than this, although the process should be similar in all cases. And if you still need a domain name registrar, we do recommend Google Domains because it's easy to use and set up. Once you've logged into your domain name registrar, you can go ahead and click on the domain name system settings, DNS, right here. I'm already in there, so we can continue. And we want to find and add custom name servers right here. So let's click on that. Then we want to manage the name servers. As you can see, I previously added the Cloudflare name servers. In your case, these would be blank and you can go ahead and fill those in. And once you've done that, you can hit save. And in our case, we need to activate these settings. So I'll do that. And there we go. Our domain name registrar is now going to redirect all of the requests over to Cloudflare to use its name servers. So now we can head back to Cloudflare and we can confirm that we have added the name servers. Now Cloudflare is going to ask us to select some default settings in this quick start guide. And you can go ahead and just select all of the defaults. Those are fine. So HTTPS rewrites, that's fine. Always use HTTPS. Yes, that's great. For auto minify, you can go ahead and select any of these to streamline your code if you like. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it as the default. Finally, we can select Brotli compression for our site, and that's fine, so we'll save that. And we can go ahead and finish out this process. And there we go. We now have our Cloudflare account. At this point, we need to start adding our domain name routing records. So to do that, we can click on the DNS button right up here. And we can start adding records. So the first record we'd like to add is the actual domain name itself, wordfleets-tutorials.com. What we want is for a user to simply type this name into a browser and have the browser directed directly to our website. So this is known as the root domain, so we can go ahead and add that. First of all, we select our type, There's actually quite a few of those, as you can see here, but we only need the A type, the default, so we can go ahead for that. You can see here for the root domain, which is this one, we can just simply add the @ symbol. And now we actually need the server IP address. Well, WordFleetTutorials.com, we want that to point to our live production site, our public website. So we can go ahead and get that IP address from our WordFleet account, so let me do that. And here is our production server. This is where we want our live site to live. So I'm going to go ahead and use this IP address right here. So I can just click on that to copy. We can go back, paste that in. Make sure that the proxy status is set to orange to proxied. It should be like that by default. And we can go ahead and save. There we go. We've now added our record. We also want users to be able to type in www.wordfleettutorials.com and get to the same live site. So let's go ahead and add that one as well. So we'll add a new record. Here we just simply put www as the prefix, and you can see now it's relating to that, www.wordfleet-tutorials.com. And we can go ahead and paste in the same server IP address because we want both of those to point to the same live public website on the production server. So I can go ahead and save. And there we go. We've now added that. And perhaps we'd like to add some domain name routing for some test sites as well. So for instance, we could add a record for our dev site. So dev.wordfleettutorials.com. And in this case, we want to use our development server. That's where our development sites would live. So let's go get that. Here's our development server. So again, we can just copy our IP address and paste that in. And there we go. And finally, perhaps we want a staging. So let's do that one very quickly. Staging.wordfleettutorials.com. Again, we can use our IP address for our development server. Save that. And there we go. We now have domain name routing set up for all of the sites that we think we would use. One last thing we need to do is just confirm that our Cloudflare account is using the proper type of encryption. So to do that, we can simply click on the SSL TLS button right here at the top. And just ensure that the settings are set to full. Not full strict, just full. And with that, we have completed the routing using Cloudflare. We are finally ready to set up our WordPress sites living on these servers and using these domain names, but that's a topic I cover in another video. So for now, I'll sign off. As always, if you found this content useful, please do consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Either way, thank you for using WordFleet, and we'll see you in the next video.